Hello everyone, welcome to the Aspire High channel initiated for providing guidance in management studies, starting with guidance to the learners of MBA program of IGNOU in the distance mode. You all know I have taken up Human Resource Management course in semester 1 of MBA program of IGNOU as my first course being covered in my new channel Aspire High. We have already discussed Unit 1 and now we are in Unit 2. In the earlier session, we have covered two topics in the Unit 2, that is functions of HRM. In this session 2, we are going to discuss at length an important topic, that is roles and responsibilities of HR managers. Roles and responsibilities of HR managers is a very important topic from the term and examination point of view. As such, students are advised to take note of the points that are presented in these slides for preparing a concise notes, as normally 20 marks question is going to be asked for this particular topic, roles and responsibilities of HR managers. Coming to the topic discussion now straight away. The ultimate goal of HR manager is to develop a linkage between the employee and the organization, as the employee's commitment to the organization is crucial. In the earlier topics discussed, we came to the conclusion, because at length it was discussed, that achievement of the objectives of the organization is paramount, and the human resource in a particular organization is to be made competent to that effect. And who has to do that? While discussing this importance of HRM topic, we said that HR subsystem is a important subsystem and also a central subsystem. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the HR subsystem. And who is going to man that subsystem? HR managers are going to man that subsystem. Automatically, it is the HR manager's responsibility to see that the human resource in an organization is competent as required by the organization's objectives. Based on the responsibilities, the roles could be defined and allocated. So first we see the responsibilities. The primary responsibilities of HR managers, I have listed out 6. We can take it forward. To develop a thorough knowledge of corporate culture, plans and policies. To initiate change and act as an expert and facilitator. To keep communication line open between HRD function and individuals and groups. To identify and evolve HRD strategies. To relate people and work so that objectives are achieved. To diagnose the problems and find solutions. All these points could be easily be understood. Only one thing I would like to stress is that communications lines, when they are not kept open, definitely people will try to vent their grievances outside the organization, creating trouble to the organization and also taking away a lot of valuable time of the people working in the organization. Regarding HRD strategies, it was discussed at length when we discussed about SHRM, strategic HRM, in the earlier session itself. And diagnosing the problems, if problems are not diagnosed as and when they surface, what is going to happen? It is going to create trouble, and the issue may get exploded like anything through unions or associations at a later date, and handling that at the time may be very difficult for the top management or the HR people. Roles of HR managers. We are going to discuss a few scholars' presentations, starting with Pat McLagan. Pat McLagan is a renowned expert in leadership development, management systems, and HRD, and she is the founder of McLagan International Company, an advisory firm in the United States of America. She contributed a lot to the organizations like GE, AT&T, and US Defense Intelligence Agency. She suggested a few roles as an important roles of HR managers. Here also I am trying to enlist only 6 from the examination point of view. Let us see what they are. It is very easy to comprehend. We'll see one by one. To bring the issues and trends concerning the organization's external and internal people to the attention of strategic decision makers. That means the HR manager has to act as a liaison between the strategic decision makers and various people who are facing one issue or another. To design and prepare HR systems and actions for implementation, That is automatically a basic thing. To create a positive relationship with customers with best customer service. To identify the learning needs to design and develop structured learning programs. To enable the individuals and groups to work in new situations. This was also discussed earlier. To work in new situations means changes are going to happen over a period of time, and the same human resource has to work in a new situation. For that, what is required is that agility is that means the change management in a faster way without any inhibitions. That has to come from the people, and the HR manager has to instill such a work culture in an organization. To help employees to assess their competencies, values, and goals. This is also an important point. That is, every employee has to have his or her own assessment of their capabilities, in which areas they are strong, in which areas they are not so strong, but they could develop provided training is given. All those things, there should be an open atmosphere that the employees will be very comfortably able to express their opinions to the HR people, so that HR people could identify their learning needs and design and develop structured learning programs. This is what Pat McLagan's suggestion of roles. The next one is McKinsey 7S framework model. This model is developed by McKinsey consultants Tom Peters, Robert Waterman, and Julian Phillips in early 1980s in United States. Actually, they are consultants for this McKinsey company, and this framework was first published in their book In Search of Excellence in 1982. The original framework is slightly different from what is presented here in this particular diagram. We will see in the next slide what the difference is. So basically, here what is important to understand is the framework speaks of 7 S's. They are further divided into 2 types, hard S's and soft S's. Hard S's are strategy, structure, and systems. Soft S's are style, staff, skills, and superordinate goals. So based on the corporate vision, the HR people have to define their respective hard S's and soft S's, which gets linked to business strategy, ultimately leading to organizational effectiveness. And HR plays the role of a catalyst for the organization, more particularly when change is going to happen. So effective organizational change is a complex relationship among the 7 S's. Please understand, it is a complex relationship among the 7 S's. Among the 7 S's means everything is interlinked to the other. So which is central to that? Actually, central to that is superordinate goals. The 3 hard S's and 4 soft S's that we are talking about, all these have to complement each other and have to be aligned towards a single corporate vision for the organization effectiveness. That means there should be interlinkage that is being stressed by McKinsey's 7S framework. Now I am going to present a slightly modified diagram for this McKinsey 7S framework model, wherein the change you can see is that the 7th one and also a crucial one is referred to as shared values instead of superordinate goals. That means actually it is a subsequent research work by some other scholars, some refinement, but original McKinsey's framework referred to it as shared values only. But from the student's point of view, from the examination point of view, I can say we can consider superordinate goals or shared values, both are one and the same, no issue. No much depth discussion is required. And what is important to be highlighted here is that there are 3 hard S's, structure, strategy, and systems. And there are 3 soft S's, skill, style, and staff, and another soft S, that is superordinate goals or shared values. But that one is very much central to all the 6, that is 3 hard S's and 3 soft S's. But that is also a soft S, shared values or superordinate goals. And the interlinkage as presented in this diagram is very, very important, and shared values bind everything else together like a glue. Please understand, shared values bind everything else together like a glue. Then the essence of this discussion is that the core values, what are shared values? The core values and beliefs that are shared by all members of the organization are very much important, and they will be having a linkage, and everything is linked to that shared values. So then from the examination point of view and also from understanding point of view for the student, I would like to highlight what each S is. Structure. What is structure? The hierarchy and distribution of authority. Hierarchy and distribution of authority. Strategy means, strategy was discussed at length earlier, but to say simply, it speaks of competitive advantage. I repeat, it speaks of competitive advantage. Systems, they are very simple. The routine way a particular job is going to be performed, routine daily activities in a particular job, they are systems and procedures, we call it as. Skills, skills refer to competencies and capabilities of the human resources. Skills refers to competencies and capabilities. Exact definition of competencies we will see in subsequent blocks. Style, style means the leadership approach and the behavior of the top management is going to be reflected in style. Staff, staff means actually there is a very basic thing, employees with a mean capability, I mean that is called general capability, that is average capability levels of the employees, that is going to be reflected in the staff. It is slightly different from the skills that we refer to in the fourth one. And the last one, just now we discussed the core values and beliefs that are shared by all members of the organization, which is central to this particular framework model. And the emphasis is very clear that shared values bind everything else together like a glue. This is very, very important, and from the not only from the examination point of view, as a for a 20 marks question on roles and responsibilities of HR managers, even a short question can also be asked. McKinsey 7S framework model. Be prepared for that. Now we shall discuss another way of defining the roles of HR managers given by Mathis and Jackson, professors from USA. They have come out with 3 types of roles of HR, and they call them as emerging roles of HR managers. The first one being administrative role of HR. It mainly covers the record keeping, including paperwork, legally required, and policy implementation. This is the regular and very old way of doing the job in the HR department for a long period of time. But the major changes that have happened in the past 4 decades is greater use of technology, and also recent development, outsourcing. These 2 major changes have a bearing on the roles of HR managers. That's why we are now talking of, Mathis and Jackson said they are emerging roles of HR. Technology is adopted in most HR activities, from employment application, employee benefit, enrollments to e-learning. We know that in every organization is having a HR module which is taking care of most of the HR activities online. Outsourcing has also grown notably. Payroll services, benefits administration, retirement planning. So many examples can be given. They are being outsourced. One organization may outsource a few, but some other organization may outsource many of the HR sub-functions. So this is about the basic administrative role of HR. But one important role given by Mathis and Jackson is operational and employee advocate role of HR. That means HR manager should be biased towards the employees. That is what they are going to say. So he should be very free to discuss with the employees and identify their issues, concerns, and of course, if they are not justified, if they have no backing of any rule position, inherent rule position, then it is better to discard it. But if there is a genuinity in that, he should act as an employee champion for employee issues and concerns and take them to the concerned persons. That is, he has to take them to the operations people and also the higher level of management, top management. Then definitely there could be some conflict with the operations team or with the top level officials. But HR manager has to maintain is coolness, and he should appreciate himself that he is doing a justifiable role, because unless he performs like that and works like that, what is going to happen? As just now said, people will try to vent out their issues outside the organization. More and more legal issues will come, lawsuits will come, and several disputes will come in several labor forums. In this way, the HR manager is helping the top management, operations team, and altogether the organization. It is a positive feature only. Now the third and the last one in the emerging roles of HR managers, as given by Mathis and Jackson, that is the strategic role of HR. This was also discussed in our earlier topics. Strategy. Strategy is very frequently used. Students are also advised to note that when they are writing answers, they should give importance to strategy linked discussions, because it is a very important development and a very recent development leading to the new concept of SHRM. So what is strategy? It was already discussed. Michael Porter said that it is the creation of a unique and valuable position involving a different set of activities. Just now we said strategy is simply understood as a competitive advantage. Everything that is done by an organization for a competitive advantage is a strategy of that particular organization. Very simple understanding. So the strategic HR role means that HR professionals are proactive in addressing business realities and focusing on future business needs. Their role is to train the human resource to match that requirement. HR is involved in devising strategy in addition to implementing strategy. That means otherwise implementation will be somewhat slow. If he is involved in the strategy devising stage itself, he will understand the essence and also the importance of it. He can pass on the same message down the line to his human resource, entire workforce rather. Though this role is recognized, all said and done in our discussions of subject, it is in infancy only. That means not much of importance is given to HR people in devising strategy. What does it mean? That means still it is a developing stage. Way forward, we expect that more and more professionalism will prevail in many organizations, and HR people are going to be involved in devising strategy. That is an ideal situation rather. Areas in which strategic contribution by HR managers could be had is workforce expansion and working with executives while developing a revised sales compensation and incentives plan, because sales compensation and incentives plan is related to HR function only, but at this time of their preparation, linked business strategy, if they are involved, it will be of help for the organization in a broader sense. Finally, we can also have a brief look at the new roles of HRM. This is also a changing phenomena. That means things are moving in a slow way, but in a proper direction towards professionalism. Many traditional practices have been thrown out, and because of technology rather, hierarchies are vanishing and flat organizations are going to be the new order, mainly because of specialization. More particularly, you can see in IT. And new age skills is a word used, something related to IT, which everybody is expected to learn, not that only the IT team. Greater emphasis is given on specialization and new age skills now. This is the development now. So we can say that new roles of HRM include facilitator of change. Change is inevitable and it needs a lot of emotional support from HR people. That is why we say that HR man has to be a facilitator of change. He or she shall act as a facilitator. Second is an integrated approach to management. It is not an isolated one. HR is not an isolated one. We discussed earlier and we repeated also that it is a central subsystem and also a very important subsystem when we talk of your entire importance of HRM. And finally, HR man has to be a mediator. Mediation will come more particularly when employer-employee relations are going to be, if at all they are going to be strained. A mediation is very much required to put things in order and to have good industrial relations in the organization for effective results. Thanks for watching. We shall meet in our next video presentation coming up in a few days, wherein we shall discuss the remaining topics of Unit 2 functions of HRM. Feedback from the students in the comment section is most welcome, so that way forward the course content structure, content delivery could be modulated accordingly as per the needs of the students. I also request all the viewers to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.